Hi everyone, it's me, Lyrics, once again, and I know 2 videos in one day, that's insane! But I'm just super excited because my favorite month, and, well, one of my favorite months, the second one is May, because that's my birth month, but my favorite holiday is coming up, and we are at the beginning of the month, so we have 31 days away, and I'm just super excited, and I just want to get another video, and I want to call this Guess That Phobia, because I'm going to name off a list of about 10 phobias, and if I want you guys to try to guess what that phobia is, what the phobia means, or what the person is afraid of if they were to have that phobia. I'm going to give you like 10 seconds, or I'll tell you to go ahead and pause your video. And when you're ready, you go ahead and unpause the video. And if you're right, go ahead and keep track. And if you get them all right, let me know below. If you don't, that's okay. Go ahead and tell me how many you got right, which ones threw you off, which ones were the most interesting or strange to you, because there are some strange phobias out there, and I'm excited to share them with you. So let's go ahead and get started. The first phobia is called abutophobia. Not sure if I'm pronouncing any of these correctly. From what I can tell, how I was able to read them, this is how I think they are pronounced. So go ahead and pause your video, because I'm about to give you the answer. And if you're not ready, pause now. Abutophobia is the fear of bathing or cleaning yourself. I couldn't imagine having that phobia, but there are people in the world who have it, and it is a legitimate phobia. There may be ways around cleaning yourself that can still keep up some of that hygiene, but if somebody has that fear, it's a serious thing. You know, phobias are nothing to make fun of. So go easy on people. You never know. The next one is ergophobia. Go ahead and pause your video now, because I'm going to give you the answer. Ergophobia is the fear of the workplace or work. It's believed that, I guess, there's other things to cause. There's root causes of this fear. It's not just being afraid to work just because you'd rather be lazy. It's, I guess, a mixture of possibly social anxiety, fear of failure on assigned tasks, and fear of public speaking, which, yeah, I can imagine being afraid of that enough to not want to go to work. So I think that's a pretty legitimate fear. I think that's a very good, valid fear there. All right, the next one is nomophobia. This one is going to be pretty easy if you kind of break down the words a little bit. So go ahead and pause your video now if you're not ready. The answer is fear of lack of phone or phone service, which in today's society is becoming more and more common. As crazy as it seems, a UK researchers did a study, and about 50% of the population that they had asked were afraid of not having mobile phones or phone service, which is crazy considering our grandparents or great-grandparents did not have that technology. All right, the next one is somniphobia. There's another one to this, but it would definitely give it away if you haven't already guessed it. So go ahead and pause your video now if you're not ready. It's the fear of sleeping. It's also known as hypnophobia, which definitely would have given it away, I think. The next one is heliophobia. Go ahead and pause your video now if you're not ready, because the answer is fear of the sunlight. It's kind of a modern day vampirism is how they described it. And it seems harmless enough until you kind of think that that person is lacking vitamin D and they can develop a vitamin D deficiency. So that's a serious fear and it can cause a health condition. The next one is oikophobia. Go ahead and pause if you're not ready. This one is a crazy fear. It's the fear of appliances. Just household appliances like TV, washer, dryer, toaster, microwave, refrigerator. Maybe not TV. But as crazy as it seems, I actually, as a small child, I had a small phobia. Not all of the appliances, specifically my dryer. I was terrified of my dryer. I had a dream one night when I was 7, and I had a nightmare that I was going down to the basement and I was doing laundry, and I started walking up the stairs and I kept hearing thump, thump, thump. And I looked and I turned around and I didn't see anything. Just everything was normal. And then I started hearing thump, thump, thump as I walk up the stairs. And I just feel frozen. My whole body freezes. And here comes the dryer barreling at me. And I physically cannot move at all. And it wraps me up in its cord and it shoves me into the dryer and I guess eats me. It's silly, but that was the dream I had, and it was a nightmare, and I was terrified to go in my basement for years. If I went down to the basement, I would run up, I would not look back, and yeah, it took me till I guess I was maybe 11 to not be afraid anymore, because I lived in my grandma's basement for about a year, and that's when I started to realize, hey, it's kind of a ridiculous fear. For me to have, because I know that I'm not going to get eaten by our washer and dryer. I'm sure that's not why people who have that phobia are afraid. I'm sure there's other reasons, but to think I was going to get eaten by a washer and a dryer, I feel a little silly. Okay, the next one is called cholorophobia. This one is a more common fear. There's your hint. Pause the video if you're not ready. If you have this fear, you probably would know this. If not, it's a fear of clowns. It's a very common fear. I myself don't have a phobia, but I am afraid of clowns. Not just because I don't like the makeup. It's because I don't know what's hiding under that makeup. I love the scary clown movies and stuff like that because I love being frightened, and you know, they don't frighten me as much because I know what's under that makeup. But a stranger coming towards me dressed as a clown, that's more frightening to me because I don't know what they look like under there. I don't know who they are. I don't know their personality. And just in general, strangers freak me out. But to add on the fact that I can't describe the person that I'm seeing is what kind of gets my heart pumping, gets me a little nervous. The next one is, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys an easy one. I'm going to say arachnophobia. How lame is that? Pause the video if you don't know. And if you're and when you're ready, unpause it. The fear of spiders. I have a very slight case of that. I cannot go anywhere near a spider, and if I know there's one near me, I will freak out until I know it's gone. Even if it's not right next to me and it's next to somebody else, I panic. Okay, and now for my favorite on the list. I love these because they're terrible. They're abophobia. I believe that's how it's pronounced, abophobia. Go ahead and pause if you're not ready. The fear of palindromes. which I love it because it's ironic. The fear of palindromes, the name for it is itself a palindrome. And if you don't know what a palindrome is, it's a word that can be spelled the same forward and backwards and read the same way, like race car. No matter if you reverse it or not, it's going to always be race car. And that is a palindrome. And there are people who are afraid of those. And the title for it itself is a palindrome. And my all-time favorite phobia, or phobia name / definition, is hippopotomonsterosesquippedaliophobia. If you're not ready, go ahead and pause the video. The answer to the last one is the fear of long words. Yet another ironic one. If you didn't see that coming, you should have, because I love irony. And, of course, with that last one being my second favorite, and my newfound second favorite, actually, the next one would obviously have to be a fear within itself. So, that's it. Go ahead and comment down below. Tell me how many you got right. Tell me which fears and definitions were your favorite. Tell me which fears on this list that you might have. If you don't, go ahead and tell me what phobias you do have. Like I said, I have the fear of clowns, but not necessarily that same phobia. I have acute arachnophobia, and I have two fears that I don't know what they're called as phobias, but they are, to me, pretty serious phobias. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you this now. And if you guys know what these phobias are, what they're called, go ahead and let me know in the comment box below, of course. I'm terrified of seagulls. When I was younger, I was on the beach with my sisters, and I had a Lunchable. And we threw our Lunchable ham down because we didn't eat ham, and the seagulls came and ate the ham. And then when they smelled that or saw that we had more food, they came after us for our food. And even when we threw the Lunchables down, they continued to chase us, which that there is what gave me that fear. And to this day, I cannot see myself going around to a group of seagulls. A lot of my friends have laughed at me for it, but you know, it's just another thing that I'm afraid of. And I know it might seem silly, but to me, that was a very traumatizing matter. My other phobia, which is kind of weird, but I guess not so much once you consider that I'm a girl, is the fear of worms. It's so bad that if I go outside and it's raining and, you know, the worms crawl up out of the grass and they're on the sidewalk, I freak out because I can't stand the idea of even stepping on one. There was a time, this is a really silly story actually. I was on my way to work and it was dark, so I couldn't see, and I lived down the street from my work. So I was walking on my way to work, and it had freshly rained. It was still raining, and all I could see were these little things that looked like they were, you know, wriggly worms. And I was doing everything I could to avoid them, and there were so many that I felt like that no matter what I could do, that I was probably going to step on one. And the whole way to work, I was crying, and I was freaking out. And then later that day, when I get off work, I come to find out that they were not worms. They were my dog just knocked down my background. They were the wiggly, or not the wiggly, the things that fall off of pine trees. I don't know what those are called, but if you know what I'm talking about, go ahead and comment below and let me know, because I can't remember what they're called. And I'm going to try to fix my background before the next video. So comment, like, subscribe, and tell me what you want to see more of, and let me know what you want to see in my videos. So, yeah, and add me on Facebook, Vine, YouTube, Instagram. I'll post some links down below, and if you want to get to know me more, I'm very chatty, as you can tell. So go ahead and add me on all those, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.